I don't think there's anybody who has never faced a tough time. There is always tough times in life, and that is part of life. So nothing succeeds like success is a very strong philosophy for my life. I believe startups are extremely important in today's day and age, especially when a lot of things are things are changing. The world is going through a rapid transformation.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Startup Lanes. I am Sonal Pathak, Investment Banking Associate at Startup Lanes, and today we are so thrilled and so excited to have a conversation with Mr. Mitul Mehta, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Datamatics. Mr. Mitul is a versatile business and marketing leader with extensive experience in B2B and B2C business. He has successfully built and led global marketing teams for various technology companies. His work has been recognized by various national and international forums, including the prestigious Diamond Award for Marketing Excellence (SMB) by ITSMA USA. He is also recognized as one of the 50 most talented CMOs of India by the CMO Council. So, without any further delay, let's welcome this brilliant personality on our platform. Hello, sir, and very welcome to Startup.
Thank you, Sonal. Good evening, and the pleasure is mine to be here today.
Also, we are so grateful that you joined, and we are really excited.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As I said, pleasure is mine.
So, sir, first of all, please tell us more about your journey. How did you begin, and how did you reach here? And getting here, was it tough or what is easy for you?
So I did my graduation in commerce, and then I did my MBA in marketing from Nursing Monji Institute of Management Studies. This was back in 1999. After that, I started my career in advertising with Ogilvy, which is one of the leading advertising agencies in the world and definitely in India. And then with Mudra, which is also one of the top agencies in the country. So with those early stints, then I had a small stint in with Reliance Communications, about a couple of years, before I actually decided to pursue my career in technology marketing, with first CMO at Mastech, then with a company called Excelia, European airline technology company. And then now with Datamatics over last about 6 years now. So that has been my journey in short. Of course, these have been over like 24, 25 years now. So a lot of, in between there are a lot of things, but in short, that's what my journey is.
So, sir, going through this journey, have you ever been through a difficult phase in your life, be it professional or personal, or on any of the front? And if you did, how did you get out of it?
So I think everybody's. I don't think there's anybody who has never faced a tough time, right?
Yes,
I am no exception to that. So of course, yes, there is always tough times in life, and that is part of life. So now, how do I handle tough times? I very strongly believe that your core defines how you really behave during your tough times, and I'm a big believer that when going gets tough, it is the tough which gets going. So given that, when during my tough times, I rely back on three things. One is self-confidence, and that's extremely important when I would not lose my self-confidence. Two is keep focus on. So be focused on what you want to achieve in near term and midterm. And third, which is very important, is to have patience during that time. Because a lot of times, everybody is advising you, everybody is telling you where you went wrong, or how this can be, how you can improve. So there are a lot of advisors people come up with, for various good reasons. Nothing wrong about it, but that's the time when all these three things matter a lot, which is your self-confidence is very important, your focus is very important on what you're doing, and patience to ensure that you achieve those goals. So I think these three are things which I typically have used over a period of times when I have faced tough situations.
So, are you an avid book reader? Do you like reading?
And if you do, what are your favorite books?
So I would not call it, I'm not an avid book reader, but I definitely read what
Okay.
I like,
Okay.
right? Uh, and I read a lot of things. Today, web internet is full of content, so I read a lot of content of my interest.
Yes.
I also read some books. I have a Kindle.
Okay.
When I travel, I carry my Kindle with me, and I tend to
Okay.
make it a point uh, to try and read for about 2-3 hours a week at least, if not more.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, so that's what my reading habits have been. Of course, nowadays with rich media, I'm consuming a lot of content and knowledge through various YouTubes and where there's so much of great quality of content being shared. So I look at that also, more often.
Yes, sir. So, sir, do you have any particular taste, in a particular taste for philosophy, or like you read more books on like literature, or just you read go for your professional thing? Do you have
I
any
prefer
particular
to read
taste?
more professional, or let's call it business
Okay, okay.
books.
Yes,
Even
sir.
if there is I prefer to read over a non-fiction or a fiction over. I would like to prefer a biography over a fiction book.
Okay,
So yeah, that's what my personal tastes have been. I also would like. I read a lot of
okay, okay,
marketing books. So that's
okay.
something, and I think those who are pursuing marketing or are in technology marketing, I would very strongly recommend to read a book called Crossing the Chasm by
Okay.
Jeffrey Moore. So I think that's a great book for tech marketers.
I hope that the viewers who are aspiring, marketeers and want to make a career, they take note of it. Yes, sir. Sir, what is your success mantra? Is there any particular quote that you carry with yourself?
So yeah, there are. In fact, one of the books I really like, and which is on my bookshelf, and I refer to that.
Okay.
It's more like a coffee book, and I read that for 10 minutes, 15 minutes also. It's called Great Quotes from Great Leaders.
Okay. Okay.
And I just always keep randomly open a page and just start reading. And some of these quotes are really very, very, close to me. I think so. And plus, of course, I believe in quotes. I believe those are really, in a nutshell, it just, it adds a lot of depth into your into what you're doing and gives you a direction.
Okay.
So I think I like a quote which actually is my dad's quote, and that's written on my in my house. Also, it says it just says three words. It says listen,
Okay.
think, speak. So
Okay.
I try, and it's very tough to follow for a lot of times, people. But because it's there
Yes,
on the wall, I tend to keep it on top of my mind in most of the situations.
okay, sir.
Another one which
So,
I like is, and I've lived with, is nothing succeeds like success.
okay.
And why I like that is because it is very important to achieve a larger success goal to break it down into smaller successes, right? So if you succeed in a small thing, right, it gives you confidence to achieve a bigger goal. And
Okay.
because the way the world looks at it is also in a very different way. And therefore people like to
Okay.
be with people who are more successful. So nothing succeeds like success is a very, very strong philosophy for my life.
So, in a nutshell, how can your followers become like you? How do they need to think?
How do the followers become like me? I feel everybody needs to find their
Yes.
own sweet spot. Why should somebody even copy
Okay.
anybody? So I think
Yeah.
everybody is unique. Everybody has its own strengths and weaknesses. And I believe very strongly that everybody has to find their own own path and their own
Okay. Okay.
focus. So I don't think I want anybody to be like me. They should be like themselves.
Okay. So better. I can say to the viewers that if you want to be like Mitul sir, just be yourself.
Absolutely. Find your own strengths and just focus on them. I'm also a big believer. I mean, I like the book now that you just mentioned the books and this is Outliers. So have you read the book called Outliers?
Okay.
It's a very, very popular book by
No, sir.
Malcolm Gladwell. And he mentions about
No, sir.
10,000 hours philosophy, right? He says you
Okay.
pick up one thing and just keep doing for 10,000 hours.
Yes,
and
sir.
you'll become a master at it. So
Okay. So, sir, you think that it will, because this 10,000 hours philosophy is really famous. I have not heard about the book, but I've definitely heard about this 10,000 hours philosophy.
yeah,
So, what's your take on it?
yeah. So I think everybody has to find their own strength and or own passion, and just invest that 10,000 hours in practicing and making it perfect. When you
Okay.
do that, you automatically become one of the good ones. So
Okay.
if you look at, and I think he mentions about cases like Bill Gates or Beatles, how they started early, invested, and became masters at it. So at
Yes,
that
sir.
craft. So I think that goes very well in even today's age, and I think it's omnipresent. It's going to be it's timeless.
So, after this interview, I'm definitely going to get that book, The Outlast, which you just
Yeah.
recommended.
Yes, it's a good book.
Now, sir, coming to the professional front, tell me, how important is it to keep yourself updated? And how do you do that? What instruments do you use to keep yourself updated?
So it's extremely important to keep yourself updated, anybody for that matter, no matter whatever field that person belongs to. And in today's world, with the world is changing at a very, very rapid pace. 10 years back, the kind of life we were living is very different than what we are living now. And I'm very confident that in next 10 years, it will be also a very different life. Things around us are changing and everything is changing, right? 10 years back, you used to pay money with cash. Now we tend to do digital payments. We were hailing cabs, and now we are, we are calling cabs on our mobile phone. We were going shopping with shopping carts, and now we are, buying groceries on mobile phones, right? So think a lot of things are changing, and with AI coming in, it is further going to change in next 10 years. So therefore, it is in today's world, it is very important to keep yourself up to date on what's happening. Now, how do I keep myself updated? I think there are multiple ways I keep myself updated. So one is I keep a very strong. I'm a marketer, so I keep a very strong focus on the market. Right? What's happening in the market, what my competition is doing, what my customers are really looking for, what are their problems and challenges, what is their buying process. So that is something which I keep a very, very strong tab on. Of course, I look at a lot of data and to make decisions. I'm a big believer of data-driven decisions making rather than gut feel decision making. Gut feel sometimes is good, but when the data is not available. But if the data is available, always look at the data. Data never lies. So that is one part. I also do a lot of reading in that space. As I told you, I like to read business books, and a lot of my internet surfing is in that direction. I also interact with like-minded people, right? People who have the same passion and the same technology, or are in the same industry. So that's another thing where I get my information from. Yeah, I think that's all, and many, many more things. I read, I listen to people. That's what I do.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I would also like to ask this one question, and I think you are the best person to ask this. And sir, what are the virtues that marketeers should have? If, for example, if the future marketeers and aspiring marketeers are watching this interview, please tell them that what is it that they should have to become a top class marketeer like you?
Okay, I don't have. This is a very tricky question. Okay, because there's no standard answer to this question. That what the top class, but definitely I can tell you what are the few skills which I believe a marketer should have, or what one is, as I told you earlier, a marketer should, the word market is very important.
Yes.
to be a marketeer. You have to understand the market you operate in. Right? A lot of times marketeers don't keep a strong finger on the pulse of the market. So you have to keep
Okay.
a finger on the pulse of the market. What's happening in the market? How is it changing? What are the micro and the macro factors which are impacting the way consumers buy, behave,
Okay.
the challenges they face, so on and so forth. I
Okay.
think that is one of the things you should be able to absorb the market. That's very important. Second
Yes.
is also very important. You should know the business what you are in. Very
Okay.
important. I would say people should understand why you are a marketeer. You also have to understand the business so that
Okay.
you can collaborate. These two are very important. A lot of people, marketeers, tend to confine their boundaries to marketing itself, but
Okay.
not understanding and not relating to a larger business goal and how
Okay.
larger business operates. So that is
So you also need to take care of the larger picture.
the business, right? The business which
Yes,
you
sir. Yes,
operate.
sir.
You need to understand your own business and the market. As I call it, dhanda
Yes.
samajh. Dhanda samajhna bahut
Yes.
important. It's very important to know business. How the working happens, where the value creation happens. Also another thing is very important in business. You need to understand finance. I'm a commerce graduate, therefore I understand finance very well. So I can understand where to invest. If I invest this much, how will it impact the top line? How will it impact the bottom line? So on and so forth, right? And also, what is the best way to, grow the top line, keeping the investments under check. So I think that is
Yes.
very important. Third is, again, data-driven decision making is very important. Today we are, every marketeer is sitting on a ton of data, right? Which
Yes.
otherwise earlier, that never used to be there. There's a famous quote from David Ogilvy that 50% of my marketing budget is waste. Unfortunately, I don't know which 50%. So that was, I think that quote was at least about 50, 70 years old.
Okay.
But I'm sure if today David Ogilvy would have been there, he would have not used that phrase, because today a marketer has so much of data that knows that what data is working, what's not working. So it's definitely not 50%, it's much lesser. So data-driven decision making is extremely important. So yeah, I think, of course, collaborative attitude is also very, very important. You need to collaborate internally and externally. You can't work in a silo. Collaboration is extremely important. So yeah, I think these are the few things. And of course, there are many, many more. But I think
Yes,
these
sir.
are
Yes,
the things which are very
definitely.
important to be a marketer.
So I really hope that the future marketeers are watching this and really taking note of this. Now, sir, please tell us more about your daily routine and how much hours per day do you work?
My daily routine is very standard, right?
Okay.
I mostly spend my days in office. I work from office. I
Okay.
like to work from office.
Okay.
So I get up, I try to do a little bit of exercise, spend some time with my family, and then come to office. I work about 10 to 12 hours in every day in office. Go back
Okay.
and then spend some time with again family. Read or watch something interesting on television. Of course,
Okay.
catch up with some news and then go to sleep. So that's my
Okay.
standard weekday. Weekend is mostly
Yes,
with
sir.
my families. So I don't try not to do a lot of work on the weekend. Most of the time is spent with family and friends. That's it.
Okay, sir. So my next question is also regarding just a few of the points that you've already answered. That nowadays the corporate field is divided into two kind of people. Like few of them believe that no, work-life balance is important. Whereas there are few people who are workaholic, like Elon Musk and all, who said that they don't believe in work-life balance. So, on what side of the spectrum do you find yourself?
I have a little different take, right?
Okay,
Today, I don't
that's
think there
interesting.
is a work and a life balance happening, or
Okay,
it is required. Required in the sense, okay, don't get me wrong. Uh, Today, I think there is a work and life integration happening.
okay,
And when I say work and life integration, means you are sitting in office and buying, paying your bills, or
okay.
buying something, buying groceries, right? The Amazon comes and
Yes,
delivers
sir.
at your workplace, for example. At the same
Okay.
time, you are at home in the night and you are chatting with your colleagues on something, on some ideas. Or on the
Yes, sir.
weekend, there are some urgent calls that you are attending, right? So there is a lot of work-life integration which is,
Yes.
and I don't call it. I saying that, oh, you know what? There is a strong line between work time and lifetime, right? I don't think
True.
that is fading away. Today, people are working at the same time, chatting with friends in office,
Yes.
versus and with friends, but still chatting, doing some, replying to an urgent email or something like that. So I think that's what life has been, and it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay for
So kind of the boundaries are disappearing.
absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's what I see everywhere.
So, do you have any regret in your life? Like, what advice would you give to your 20 years younger self? Or is there any something that you, when you look back, you say, no, this is something that I really messed up, and if I go back, I'm going to delete this from my life. Is there anything like that?
No regrets.
That's a very straightforward answer.
No regrets at all. I think whatever I did, I think it's always a individual decision, whether right or
Yes,
wrong,
sir.
right? So
Okay.
if you took a decision, it's wrong, fine, it's fine. Why should you regret it?
The short and very profound answer. That's it. So, is there anything other than marketing that you really like? So, what I want to ask is, if you had not picked up, marketing, what is it that you would have been doing?
If I
Is
would
there
have
any
not been a
second?
marketeer, I would have definitely been a chartered accountant. I was a
Okay,
very good commerce student. Uh,
okay,
I really liked finance. I like,
okay,
uh,
okay.
so I think if not marketeer, I definitely would have been a chartered accountant. And then I would have
So,
dabbled something in finance for sure,
okay.
investment banking, or I would have been in one of those fields.
So, sir, would you like to mentor the young entrepreneurs? And is there in what do you think about the startups? And would you like to mentor the startups as well? And sir, is there any particular kind of startup, any sector that attracts you more? Something like that.
So the short answer is, would I like to mentor entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs? Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
With whatever my time permits, I would definitely love to mentor them. I believe startups are
Okay.
extremely important in today's day and age, especially when a lot of things are changing. The world is going through a rapid transformation,
Yes.
and the legacy businesses are not going to transform that. It's the startups who are going to transform. Legacy businesses, the space at which the startups can transform is much better than what big organizations can do. So I think startups are very, very important in today's day and age. Of course, it brings its own set of challenges, but it also brings in a set of opportunities.
So, who would you think uh, the most to for supporting yourself in your career?
Oh, a lot, many more people. I think my family is very important. I think they have been through thick and thin. When I spend so many hours in office, been on business trips for weeks together, at home, managing the home front is very important. My wife, my mother, my son, all of them are extremely critical members. My teams. I think my
Okay.
team is fantastic. They are very, very strong. There's a vision, and today I think without them, There's nothing. I think also colleagues, my colleagues are extremely supportive. Have been across. Have been very, very supportive. Because without their support, marketing cannot achieve what they want to achieve. So I think that is very, very important. And last but not the least, mentors, right? Because everybody needs a mentor to show them the side which they themselves fail to see, right?
Yes.
And so I think that is also extremely important. I've learned a lot from my bosses, from my mentors, and taken that, and knowing that this is going to come in the future, in my journey. So that's how it is.
So how should people connect with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn, they can reach me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn, I'm fairly, that's the only social media I'm on, right? Or I access
Okay.
to. So LinkedIn is the best way to connect to me. Yeah.
So my last question would be, what do you think about startup lanes?
Startup lanes. I think it's a great ecosystem. It's very, very important because today, an entrepreneur goes through many, many, many challenges. And, I think 80% of the startups fail in the first year itself. But if given the right set of ecosystem for it to garner support, there's a very high chance that they will move beyond 1 year. And I think the data says when startups move beyond 1 year, they tend to survive for a much longer time, right? So I think that ecosystem really helps in bringing all the resources, knowledge, finance, people, right? Like-minded businesses to exist in an ecosystem for everybody to, thrive and progress together. So I think that is very, very, I think it's a great initiative. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your kind words. So that's all from our side, sir. And we are so grateful, so thankful to you that you took time out of your busy schedule for us and talk to us. And we really appreciate all your brilliant thoughts on different aspects of personal as well as professional life. And we are really honored, really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonal. Thank you very much. Thank you.